I thought she was my best friend. Then she spread lies about me at work. Imagine this, you have a best friend. You trust her with everything, your secrets, your struggles, your ambitions. She's not just your closest friend, but also your coworker, someone who understands the daily grind of your job. But one day, everything changes. You find out that she's been spreading lies about you at work, turning colleagues against you and ruining your reputation. It's not just a stab in the back. It's the ultimate betrayal. This is the story of OP, a woman who thought she had found a true friend at work. But behind her back, this friend was tearing her down, spreading vicious rumors that not only affected her personally, but threatened her entire career. By the end of this story, you'll have to ask yourself, how could someone you trust so deeply turn against you like this? Would you confront them, or would you let them get away with it? Let's dive into this heartbreaking tale of betrayal. OP had been working at her company for about 5 years. It wasn't the most glamorous job, but she enjoyed it. The people were friendly. The work was challenging in a good way. And there was room for growth. OP had big plans for her future. She was determined to climb the corporate ladder and make a name for herself. But as anyone in a corporate job knows, it can be a lonely place sometimes. Navigating office politics, managing work stress, and finding your place in the hierarchy can be tough. That's why OP was so grateful when she met Samantha. Samantha had joined the company around the same time as OP, and the two quickly became inseparable. Samantha was funny, outgoing, and always knew how to make OP laugh, even on the most stressful days. They bonded over lunch breaks, shared inside jokes, and were each other's support system at work. Whenever OP felt overwhelmed by a deadline or frustrated with a difficult client, Samantha was there to listen. And when Samantha needed advice or a shoulder to cry on, OP was right by her side. The two of them were a team. They had each other's backs. And for OP, it felt like she had found a true friend in the sometimes cutthroat world of corporate life. They even hung out outside of work, grabbing drinks on the weekends, going shopping, and venting about their bosses. To OP, Samantha wasn't just a coworker, she was a best friend. Their bond only grew stronger as time went on. OP felt like she could trust Samantha with anything, and in return, Samantha confided in her about her own struggles, work stress, relationship problems, family drama. They shared everything. OP never imagined that this deep bond of trust would one day be shattered. It all started with little things, small, almost unnoticeable shifts in Samantha's behavior. OP began to notice that Samantha wasn't as warm or supportive as she used to be. She'd brush off OP's concerns with a quick, "I'm busy," or "we'll talk later." And those heart-to-heart conversations they once had became few and far between. At first, OP didn't think much of it. After all, everyone gets busy. Samantha had a lot on her plate too, and OP assumed that she was just dealing with her own stuff. But as time went on, the distance between them grew. Samantha stopped inviting OP to lunch, stopped sharing personal stories, and became more secretive. Then came the whispers. OP started to notice that her coworkers were acting strangely around her. Conversations would stop when she entered the room. People were less friendly, and there were quiet, suspicious glances directed her way. At first, OP thought she was imagining things, but it wasn't long before the rumors reached her ears. One day, a colleague pulled OP aside and asked her in a hushed tone, "Is it true? Did you really do that?" OP had no idea what they were talking about. "What do you mean?" she asked, confused. That's when the colleague told her. A rumor had been going around that OP had been bad-mouthing the company to clients, complaining about her job, and even blaming her team for mistakes that weren't theirs. OP was stunned. None of this was true. She had never spoken ill of the company to clients, and she certainly hadn't blamed her team for anything. But the damage had already been done. The rumor was spreading like wildfire, and OP's reputation was quickly deteriorating. At first, OP didn't understand where the rumors were coming from. Who would say something like this about her? But then, slowly, pieces started to fall into place. A few coworkers mentioned that they had heard the rumors from Samantha. OP couldn't believe it. Samantha, her best friend, had been spreading lies about her behind her back. OP's mind raced. Why would Samantha do this? Had she misunderstood something OP said? Was this some kind of mistake? OP tried to confront Samantha, but Samantha brushed it off, saying that she had just heard the rumors from someone else. But OP couldn't shake the feeling that something was very, very wrong. Have you ever had a moment where you realized someone you trusted was working against you? OP was beginning to see the cracks in her friendship with Samantha, but she wasn't sure how deep the betrayal went. What would you do if you found out your best friend was spreading lies about you at work? As the weeks went on, the rumors only got worse. It wasn't just that OP was complaining about the company anymore. Now people were saying that she had been sabotaging projects, taking credit for work she hadn't done, and throwing her teammates under the bus. OP's once strong reputation was crumbling right before her eyes. More and more colleagues were distancing themselves from her, and OP could feel the tension in every meeting, every interaction. The trust she had worked so hard to build was eroding, and she didn't know how to stop it. But no matter how much OP tried to defend herself, the rumors had already taken on a life of their own. Finally, OP had enough. She confronted Samantha directly, demanding to know why she was spreading these lies. OP's heart pounded as she asked her, "Why are you doing this to me? I thought we were friends." Samantha's response was cold and distant. She denied everything, saying she wasn't the one spreading rumors and that she had only heard things from other people. But OP knew better. She had heard from multiple sources that the rumors were coming from Samantha. She pressed harder, asking why Samantha would betray her like this. Samantha grew defensive, accusing OP of being paranoid and making a big deal out of nothing. But OP couldn't shake the feeling that Samantha was hiding something. It wasn't until a private conversation with another coworker that OP finally learned the full truth. The coworker, who had been friends with both OP and Samantha, reluctantly told her that Samantha had been intentionally spreading the rumors to make OP look bad. And the reason? Samantha was gunning for a promotion, one that both she and OP had been quietly vying for. Samantha had been sabotaging OP behind her back to make herself look better in front of their bosses. She had spread lies, turned colleagues against OP, and ruined her reputation, all in the hopes of securing the promotion for herself. OP's heart sank. The person she had trusted most, the person she had confided in, had been undermining her for months. The betrayal was like a punch to the gut. OP had never suspected that Samantha would do something like this. She thought they were friends, best friends. They had shared so much, both personally and professionally, and now OP realized that it had all been a lie. Samantha had been using their friendship to manipulate her and gain an advantage at work. OP felt sick. Not only had she lost her best friend, but her career was also in jeopardy. Her reputation had been dragged through the mud, and there was no easy way to fix it. The rumors had spread so far that it was impossible to know who believed them and who didn't. OP felt powerless, like her entire world had been flipped upside down. Can you imagine how OP felt in that moment? The person she had trusted the most had been working against her all along, and now her career was on the line. What would you do if your best friend betrayed you in such a cold and calculated way? Could you ever forgive them? After the truth came out, OP's workplace became a hostile environment. She felt isolated, abandoned by colleagues who once trusted her and respected her work. The tension was palpable every time she walked into a meeting. People whispered behind her back, avoided eye contact, and distanced themselves as if she were toxic. OP tried to defend herself, but it was like shouting into the void. The damage had already been done. Her credibility was shattered, and no matter how much she tried to explain the situation, the rumors had already taken root in people's minds. To many of her colleagues, OP was the villain, and nothing she said could change that. Meanwhile, Samantha continued to thrive. She played the part of the perfect employee, always smiling, always helpful, always in the good graces of their bosses. She had successfully positioned herself as the better candidate for the promotion, and it wasn't long before the news came. Samantha had been promoted. She had won. For OP, it was a devastating blow. Not only had Samantha destroyed her reputation, but she had also gotten exactly what she wanted. OP felt like a fool for ever trusting her, for believing that their friendship was real. And now she had to watch as Samantha reaped the rewards of her betrayal. The emotional toll was immense. OP felt completely alone. The person she had trusted most had turned her colleagues against her, and now she didn't know who to turn to. Every day at work was a reminder of the betrayal. The place that had once felt like a second home now felt like a prison. OP began to dread going to work. She felt like an outsider, an outcast in a place where she had once been respected and valued. The emotional weight of the betrayal was suffocating, and it affected every aspect of her life. She couldn't sleep, couldn't focus, couldn't find joy in anything. The person she had trusted most had taken everything from her. Have you ever had someone betray you in such a deep and personal way, only to watch them succeed while you struggled? OP was trapped in a toxic environment, betrayed by the person she thought was her friend. How do you move forward when the person who hurt you seems to come out on top? But OP wasn't ready to give up. After weeks of feeling powerless, she made a decision. She was going to fight back. She wasn't going to let Samantha get away with what she had done. OP knew that if she wanted to restore her reputation and protect her career, she had to take action. OP started by gathering evidence. She reached out to colleagues who had witnessed Samantha spreading the rumors, asking them if they would be willing to speak up. Some were hesitant, afraid of getting involved in office drama, but a few agreed to help. Slowly but surely, OP began to build a case against Samantha. She documented every instance where she could prove that Samantha had lied about her, where she had spread false information or taken credit for OP's work. It wasn't easy. Samantha had been careful to cover her tracks, but OP was determined to expose the truth. With her evidence in hand, OP requested a meeting with HR and her direct manager. She explained the situation in detail, laying out everything she had uncovered about Samantha's betrayal. OP was nervous. She knew that going up against someone as well-liked as Samantha would be a challenge, but she couldn't stand by and let her career be destroyed. The meeting was tense. HR and management listened carefully to OP's claims, but it was clear that they were hesitant to take sides. Samantha had made herself indispensable in the office, and accusing her of such serious misconduct was a big deal. But OP didn't back down. She provided evidence, gave names of coworkers who could corroborate her story, and made it clear that she wouldn't be silenced. In the weeks that followed, HR launched an internal investigation. The office was buzzing with rumors about the situation, and OP felt the weight of everyone's eyes on her. It was exhausting, waiting to find out what would happen, but OP knew she had done the right thing. Finally, the results came in. HR found that Samantha had, in fact, been spreading false information about OP, and she was reprimanded. However, because of her connections and her strong performance in other areas, Samantha wasn't fired. Instead, she was demoted and removed from the project she had been leading. For OP, it was a bittersweet victory. She had cleared her name, but the damage had already been done. Samantha's betrayal had left scars that would take time to heal, and while justice had been served, OP knew that things would never go back to the way they were. What would you do in OP's situation? Could you continue working in an environment where your best friend had betrayed you? Or would you walk away? OP had fought to clear her name, but the emotional toll was immense. How do you rebuild after such a devastating betrayal? After everything that had happened, OP made the difficult decision to leave the company. She had cleared her name, but the environment was too toxic for her to stay. The trust she had once had in her colleagues was gone, and every day at work felt like a reminder of the betrayal she had suffered. OP found a new job at a different company, one where she could start fresh. It wasn't easy. Leaving behind a place where she had invested so much time and energy was painful. But OP knew it was the right choice for her mental health and her career. The experience had left OP scarred, but it had also made her stronger. She had learned a hard lesson about trust, about friendship, and about navigating the corporate world. OP was more cautious now, more protective of her boundaries, but she refused to let the betrayal define her. In her new job, OP focused on rebuilding her reputation, proving herself through hard work and dedication. It wasn't easy, and there were days when the pain of what had happened still haunted her, but slowly she began to heal. OP realized that while Samantha had tried to tear her down, she couldn't destroy OP's resilience. Over time, OP found peace. She learned to let go of the anger and bitterness that had consumed her in the months following the betrayal. She had been hurt, but she hadn't been defeated. OP knew that she was stronger than the lies, stronger than the betrayal, and that she had the power to rebuild her life on her own terms. Have you ever had to start over after being betrayed by someone you trusted? How did you find the strength to move forward? And what advice would you give to someone going through something similar? OP's journey was long and painful, but in the end, she found her way back to herself. So what do you think? Was OP right to leave the company and start fresh? Or should she have stayed and continued to fight for her place? Sometimes walking away is the hardest decision to make, but it's also the most empowering. I'd love to hear what you think. Could you ever forgive someone who betrayed you like this? Or would you cut ties for good? Let me know in the comments below. Wow, the ultimate betrayal by a friend? Samantha is pure evil. I can't believe Samantha would go to such lengths just to get ahead. OP was nothing but kind to her, and she repaid that by stabbing her in the back? Some people will do anything for power. How can you smile in someone's face, share personal stories, and then tear them down behind their back like that? OP deserves better than that snake. Exactly. It's one thing to be ambitious, but to destroy someone's career just to get ahead? That's next level shady. OP did the right thing by fighting back. But I can't imagine how hard it was to realize that her so-called best friend was the one spreading those lies. The worst part is that Samantha didn't just hurt OP professionally, she betrayed her emotionally too. They were supposed to be friends. This was cold and calculated. It's disgusting how far some people will go just to get what they want. OP is so strong for standing up for herself. I have so much respect for OP for gathering evidence and fighting back. It would have been easy to just walk away, but she stood up for herself in a situation where many people would have crumbled. She knew the truth, and she wasn't going to let Samantha get away with ruining her career. It takes so much strength to confront someone who's been scheming behind your back, especially when it's someone you trusted. Yes, OP is a total badass for standing her ground. She could have just quit and let Samantha win, but she fought back and exposed the truth. Even though the process was brutal, OP proved that she wasn't going to let Samantha walk all over her. That takes guts. OP showed serious resilience. Many people in her position would have felt powerless, but she took control of the situation and sought justice. I hope she feels proud of herself for not letting Samantha's lies destroy her. Samantha really thought she could get away with it, huh? It's wild how Samantha thought she could just throw OP under the bus and no one would notice. The fact that she lied and manipulated everyone to climb the corporate ladder shows how little she values real relationships. OP trusted her, and she used that trust against her. Samantha is a classic office backstabber, and it's infuriating that she thought there wouldn't be consequences. Samantha's arrogance is unreal. She probably thought she was being so clever, but karma caught up with her in the end. Even though she didn't get fired, that demotion must have stung. You can't treat people like that and expect to come out on top forever. It's so true. Samantha clearly underestimated OP's ability to fight back. She probably thought she had it all under control, but people like that always get exposed in the end. I hope Samantha learned her lesson, though I doubt she'll ever really change. The emotional toll of betrayal is the worst part. I feel for OP so much. Yes, the career sabotage was terrible, but what really hurts is the emotional betrayal. She trusted Samantha, probably saw her as a sister, and that's the wound that cuts the deepest. The rumors are bad enough, but realizing your closest friend has been working against you the whole time, that's devastating. You're so right. It's one thing to deal with workplace drama, but losing a friendship in such a brutal way is something that stays with you. OP didn't just lose her reputation. She lost someone she thought was her friend. That kind of betrayal messes with your trust in everyone. The emotional scars last a lot longer than the professional damage. OP will heal and rebuild her career, but trusting people again after a betrayal like that, that's going to take a lot of time. Hopefully, she has a strong support system around her. The fact that Samantha was promoted makes me so mad. I can't believe Samantha got the promotion after all that. Sure, she was demoted in the end, but the fact that she benefited from her lies, even for a while, is infuriating. People like her always seem to land on their feet, no matter how many people they hurt. OP deserves way more recognition for her hard work than someone like Samantha ever will. It's so unfair. People like Samantha shouldn't be allowed to thrive after pulling such dirty tricks. She only got ahead because she played dirty. I hope OP's new job is a much better environment. She deserves to be somewhere where her talent is recognized, not overshadowed by someone else's manipulation. Right? It's maddening that toxic people like Samantha can get ahead, even temporarily. But karma hit her in the end, and OP will ultimately be better off in a place where she doesn't have to deal with that kind of backstabbing. Samantha's success will always be tainted by how she got it. OP made the right call by leaving the company. Honestly, as much as it hurts to leave, OP made the right choice. After everything that happened, staying in that toxic environment would have destroyed her mental health. Sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away and start fresh. I hope OP finds a workplace that values her skills and where she doesn't have to constantly look over her shoulder. Totally agree. After something like this, it's impossible to stay. No matter how much you fight to clear your name, the damage to your reputation is hard to fix in the same environment. Leaving gave OP the chance to rebuild her life somewhere new. Leaving was the smartest thing OP could have done. That workplace had become a battlefield, and there's no peace of mind when you're constantly dealing with betrayal. OP is going to thrive in a place where her hard work speaks louder than office gossip. Samantha's manipulation is a wake-up call for OP and everyone else. If anything, Samantha's betrayal is a harsh lesson that not everyone who smiles in your face is your friend. OP learned the hard way that even people you trust can turn on you. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's also a reminder to be careful who you confide in, especially at work. I hope OP takes this experience and uses it to become even stronger. Yes, this is such an important lesson. It sucks that OP had to learn it in such a brutal way, but hopefully, she'll come out of this wiser and more cautious. Not everyone is worthy of your trust, and Samantha proved that with her betrayal. This story is definitely a wake-up call for anyone who trusts too easily in the workplace. People can be ruthless when there's something at stake, like a promotion. OP will be better off in the long run, but it's a hard lesson to learn. And if you found this story as heartbreaking and powerful as I did, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.